The one thing with website optimization that a lot of companies overlook, anything that you evaluate first.
Thank you.
Hot tip.
We've created a lot of additional ways to move inventory. The biggest example at checkout, all of a sudden, that's sniffing $1 million just in new customer checkouts.
To have more money to create a better user experience, brands waiting too long to dump old inventory until right before Black Friday. So if you are hearing this and you're like, yeah, I have to get rid of A, B, and C, and D.
Launch a brand new product on that time too, at full retail. Don't give a discount on it. Put it out there. One of the coolest things you'll see is
Last name is it rhymes with
My name is Amer, last name Grozdanic. When I'm on the mic, I'm automatic.
oh,
Never stay static, flow like a river, sing like a bee. Like U.S. Army, I be all I can be.
Oh, shit.
wow, honestly.
Didn't know you had that in
Did you
you.
practice
Wow.
that, Amir?
Huh?
Did you practice that in front of the mirror?
No.
He's smiling, at least in front of the car.
Wow,
car.
honestly, I never thought rap would be attainable considering, you and you're sustainable. Anyways.
The sustainability.
What can I say? I just live a life that's maintainable.
Oh! Wow.
Rap battle.
Wow.
We having a rap battle? I can't rap worth a shit.
Me neither.
I can't. I can barely rhyme.
I never thought veggies would be the only thing about you that would be shameable. Oh! that was stupid.
Screw
And that's not
broccoli.
even debatable.
Oh!
Hit you when you were down.
Wow.
I didn't know.
Honestly, if you told me pick 50 countries that they could rap, Bosnia would not be on the list. Dude, the Bosnian rapping prince.
Bosnian rapping
You
prince.
should do the next rap for our next sponsor.
Yes.
No.
he's like, I'm not that confident.
Yeah,
Are we rolling?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and kick this thing off in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Awesome Pod, where we talk a lot. E-com is the path that we walk a lot. From 4 point of views when we're talking shop.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Awesome Pod, a show about perspective from the eyes of an agency, SaaS, operator, marketer, focused on the direct-to-consumer, e-commerce, and retail space. With over 55 years of combined business experience, founding over 12 different companies in our careers, we're excited to bring you this episode. Going around the room here, I'm going to kick off an introduction with John, the Android-loving survival king, 4-time founder, currently leading as the CEO and co-founder of the outdoor adventure brand BattlBox, and you can also find him on a hit Netflix original series, Southern Survival. Then we got Amer, formerly known as the Prince of Bosnia. In his everyday life, when he's not princing, he's the co-founder and CEO of Praella.
Princing? Princing? What is princing?
Webby winner, 4-time founder. I'm just making up shit. This is why I don't rap, guys. All right. He's the branding and experiencing king.
What?
He's the branding experience king. Builds website experiences for famous people like Billie Eilish, LeBron James, Rihanna, and Paris Hilton. And then we've got Bryan. Bryan, the self-proclaimed funniest dude on LinkedIn, 2 times founder and the Meat Guy. You can find him on IG as Anything But Salad, the sponsor rapper, funny guy.
What did you drink?
When he's not rapping and he's not eating meat in his everyday life, he's the director of e-commerce at Oma's Pride, the original raw pet food company. Amer, you must have had too much fresh air, buddy. I don't know.
Me? What did you do while I was outside?
I mean, hit the
Yeah, he did the thing.
Hit the thing.
We're in East Haven.
Yeah, and my name is Jimmy Kim. I'm the founder of Sendlane, 3 times founder, businesses, former direct-to-consumer owner, email and digital marketer of over 15 years.
Makeups, words, sentences.
Yeah, I do. That's why I don't rap. I told you guys. That's why I don't rap. Just make up a bunch of words that don't rhyme. You know how
Princing.
people, like they just rhyme? Yeah, that would be me. All right, real quick mentions on the pod as always. Number 1, where can you find us, guys?
Creators Combine.
Creative Combine.
Creators
Combine.
Guy take over.
This guy, you're the one talking to me princing over here. That's where Awesome Pod community can be found. It's now available for agencies, SaaS, operators, and marketers. Come check us out. Come chat. Come learn. Let's mastermind. Let's grow. That's the whole point. Big shout out to our sponsors. Recharge, the #1 subscription platform for for e-commerce, specializing in Shopify, of course. We've got Gorgeous, the #1 help desk platform for Shopify merchants and other e-commerce merchants too. Check them out and make sure you ask for an awesome deal because you heard them on this pod, guys. All right, well, we are on episode number 13, and well, we've got a lot to talk about here because we're going to talk about what you should be doing for Black Friday, Cyber Monday if you have not started yet. So it's the end of August now as you're listening to this pod, and shit's getting more serious. Q3's ending, and we're starting to enter the famous Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holiday, and even Q5, which if you don't know what Q5 is, it's that time between after Christmas all the way to like January, right after Christmas, usually around January 5th or so. It's what we call Q5 because you're making one last final push for your holiday sales. Look, we started to talk about this stuff last time in that last pod we did, but I thought it was really fun if we can use our brains this episode in a tactical and strategic way. So I went to ChatGPT and I wrote down all the things that it was telling us as we created a checklist. I went a couple times around. I tried to create a couple different prompts, and I found one that I felt that we could talk about and discuss. And I thought it'd be really fun step by step where we can go through it and we can discuss anything we can add into that checklist. And we even made it even cooler because our experienced king, our Prince of Bosnia, his team is helping us develop a website, and we're going to be launching our website. So if you're listening to this pod, we have launched our website. You should come check it out. It's awesomepod.com, and we'll have a downloadable checklist of everything we're talking about here today. So you can go check it out, subscribe to get your checklist, and we will be able to alert you when we have new pods. All right, so we got work to do here, and I want to set the stage, and I'm moving fast because we've got a lot to go through, and I'm going to try to slam this into a pod because I want to make this thing. So I felt like we needed to dial it in a little bit and say, we can't just be ambiguous, right? And so I want to be a little bit more tactical and focused, and I'm just going to pick a random thing. So I wrote down just a bunch of random stuff, and honestly, it's actually my old business, and I just wanted to kind of like talk about it, and I wanted to see how you guys would prepare for it, and I'll talk about my experience. I'll talk about it on the SaaS level. Amer will talk about it on his side as a services side, and you guys as brands who are already in the thick of it, as we talked about, you're planning and now you're preparing, and I think right now you should be in preparing mode, not just planning mode, and we're going to help you try to prepare, give you a checklist, things that you need to do in order to be ready and ready to rock and actually start executing. So the stage I'm going to set is you're like a $10 million men's apparel business, okay? You know, you get your own shirts, your pants, your socks, and your accessories. Average AOV is about $150, so you've got a pretty good AOV, so you know that your cart value is there, so you can do the advertising. However, I think this is going to be a scenario you're going to see this year. Inventory is mostly good, but some of the like best sellers are starting to run a little slim. This is the twist, because I think that this is going to be a real story that's going to occur in the market just because inventory has been all over the place this year because people overordered, that we had supply chain issues. And then now as people have tightened their belt trying to maximize, well, what's the number one thing you do is you just don't buy a new product. You try to ship the product you have today, right? So we talk about that. They've got an influencer. I think that's really good and relevant because you guys have some version of that. And they've got some new products ready to release too. So there's a lot that they've got thinking as a brand, as a business, and we're going to jump into this checklist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read down this checklist that I've got. There are 30 different ones that I've got. And each one of those, I'm going to go into a couple things. And what I'd love for you guys to do is jump in and just kind of blurt out things that you should be thinking about, or even a story about your business, because there's some ones that I don't think people talk about enough. And number one is the first one and the best one, in my opinion, inventory management. I failed at this a lot in my business when I was running it. You know, ensuring sufficient stock levels, conducting an audit of inventory, and coordinating with your suppliers to make sure you have quick restock. So those are the three things that we have here on the thing. But as I go around the room, and John looks like he's got something he wants to say right away, so I'm going to go with John.
Yeah, you know, I like that it's number one because it's the most common reason D2C brands fail. Because of inventory management. It sucks all your cash, right? Yeah. So I think it's really important that it's the number one spot.
So when you think about inventory management, let's go to BattlBox.
Yeah.
How are you preparing for the holiday? I know the holiday is not as big of a spike as like a traditional brand, but I still think you're going to get a spike. So how are you managing for the inventory?
Yeah. So on the subscription-centric view of the business, we're, investing in some one-time products that we can use as an introductory offer to onboard more members. So that's the first half. When we're talking about the shop, which will segment a big chunk of our audience, and that's what we're presenting them with, we're ensuring that we have ample inventory, right? Because we don't want to sell it. We don't want to leave money on the table. And to your point, Jimmy, we don't want to overorder because we know that that's extremely problematic. So we're stack ranking items that have the best sales velocity, items that have the best margins that we can then also discount to a certain degree, and using data to determine what our numbers can be so that we order. Now, we're a little fortunate because we've created a lot of additional ways and paths to move inventory. So the biggest example, and it used to have higher, but we raised the price and it still makes sense to keep it at this. At checkout, the last page of checkout, Amer, you know very well about this one. We have a $60 now.
Yeah, 60.
We have a $60 upsell add-on, mystery box add-on. And this item is a mystery box. I believe we say it has about $100 to $120 worth of value. And it's literally a mystery box. There's no expectations in it besides the value piece. And we use that as a path to move inventory when we need to. So we don't ever have stale inventory, because if we do have stale inventory, we're going to pepper that into that box with some stuff that isn't stale. We want it to be a good experience, right? There's a reason that inventory is stale possibly. So we don't want it to be just stale inventory. So it's peppered in there, but that little upsell at checkout, we have a 30% take on it, 30% take rate. So all of a sudden that's sniffing $1 million just in new customer checkouts. It's only offered to new customers. Having paths like that, having past other channels, right? Whether it's Amazon or eBay or Etsy or TikTok Shop, there's so many additional marketplaces and sales channels to move stuff to. So for us, we always want to have a path to limit the risk.
Hey, how's it going? How can I help? I have the platform to handle any problem you dealt. Thank you for that. Yeah, but where is my belt? It was order 113 if I remembered it well. Hold on, 1 second. Let me see what I can do. It looks like end of day today is when your package is due. Thank you so much. Wow, you did that so fast. Wait, aren't you the only one you guys have on staff? Yeah, I am, but this helps in enormous ways. We appreciate your business. Have a gorgeous day.
Bryan, I'm going to go to you because I believe you have something interesting because you just did it on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Inventory that is something that's perishable. So you have a supply, you have to make good decisions around there. So you have kind of mentioned it already, but I'd love for you to break down how you guys plan for that forecasting of your inventory management.
Yeah, so we have two big inventory checks throughout the year, the current in-stock levels, and then as well as procurement levels and forecasting for that, right? So, and the two big ones that we schedule a year, real thorough, deep inventory checks, right? Because we're procuring probably in raw materials upwards of 250 different type of raw materials between bones, vegetables, meats, etc. On top of the SKUs, we have over 120 SKUs. So managing that through the entire process is important, but we set up our two big inventory counts around our two big sales pillars, which is obviously we have Black Friday, but then 4th of July. So we make sure that ahead of time that those are already scheduled correctly. This is when we're doing it to prepare for that. But we hold inventory aside for all subscription customers, a percentage. We hold a percentage for retail to make sure that we hit retail numbers. But then we also hold, especially our hero SKUs, a percentage for post-sale because we never really want to run out. It's like you're saying, Jimmy, we're being a consumable product and a food. We can't just really go all in on these sales and then not have a business to run post-sale, right? So having all of that aligned, especially if you manufacture your own product, is crucial ahead of these big sales pillars, but also remembering, especially your hero SKUs, to hold some aside so that way you don't run into an issue and you still have a business to run after.
The one thing I would put, it's not from the procurement side, it's not my specialty, but if you're underselling or overselling, create a plan for those post-holidays. Usually we see our merchants can still do really well post-Christmas to early
Q5.
January. Yeah, exactly. And what I like to say that when I say offer, I don't mean coupons, but if your hero product did really well and you still have some, but then you have, some accessory that you didn't move as much, create bundles. Try to move that way. You don't necessarily have to discount. Same thing if maybe you didn't move your hero product and you got bunch left over, especially if you're in a seasonality type of brand, figure out how you can leverage that time to really move that brand. A lot of returns, exchanges happen. So take advantage of that time, people getting money back in their pocket and potentially people coming to your website that bought something that doesn't fit and it's maybe no longer in stock. How can you keep that wallet within your store?
Yeah, it makes me chuckle because back when I was in retail and my clothing store, what we used to do is walk around and pull down all the dusty boxes. And the dusty boxes were the ones that we just couldn't sell and we had so much extra inventory. We'd make the pile and we call this the pile of the crazy sale that we do. $5 t-shirts or $3 t-shirts or buy one, get one free, whatever it was. And I think it's really interesting because you have people and humans, they would buy for themselves and do really well. But online, that's really difficult to achieve. So it's not as easy to clear. And I love the way that you're clearing your inventory out. It sounds like you've got a great idea of like start focusing on that post-Christmas sale, the Q5 sale. Instead of thinking about gifting, you're thinking about self-buying, right? At that point.
One other thing I would add, and it's kind of like a hot tip that I've seen some companies do really well. If you want to sell on third-party platforms and you don't want to tarnish your brand or what you're doing, for example, Amazon, don't put your hero product on Amazon, put your discounted goods, introduce your brand by selling those products, and hopefully in return, they'll Google you or whatever the case is and visit and buy from you later as well.
That's good. All right, let's go number 2. Number 2 is website optimization. We're talking about load times and speed and mobile responsiveness, checking for broken links and fixing them. I'm going to go to you, Amer, because you're probably experiencing this right now in this moment. I mean, I'm sure brands are asking you to do your check and start going. When does code freeze happen for you guys?
We try to enter code freeze 2 weeks before Black Friday. Or
before their Black Friday holiday launch, right? So if they start November 1st, you're in mid-October?
Exactly. Unless a brand is starting to sell a lot sooner, then we try to be a week or 2 out as well. We want everything to be ready, to be tested, and to everybody to sleep at night in peace, basically. For website optimization, I mean, there's a lot of great tools that people can use. Obviously, Google PageSpeed, GT Metrics is a big one. I like to use Screaming Frog for SEO purposes, broken links and things like that. Most companies should be able to fall under a free scan for them. The other thing is just making sure and testing that everything works, that you're checking out and all of that. The one thing with website optimization that a lot of companies overlook is, does your messaging, your offers, your merchandising, does it align across channels? Because if people see one ad or one email and they come to a landing page, homepage, whatever the case is, and the messaging is not the same, you could lose them. So it's not just about, do the clicks work? It's not just about if the speed is there. Those are kind of like what I think the standards was expected, but also think about the user experience when somebody follows it to make sure it's optimized and aligned with your offers.
That's actually my next one, and I think they tie in together really well. So we'll talk about it and then we'll go back around. But user experience, simplifying navigation, optimizing PDPs with high quality images and descriptions, enabling guest checkout, right? These are all like things that you do to create user experience for website optimization, which is number 3. Any more to add to that? Anyone else think about something important as you're thinking about optimization and experience?
Yeah, when we're talking about user experience, I think, reviewing your new customer onboarding series, email series, and SMS series, and this is a great time to do that. It's one of those things, unfortunately, I think a lot of times once it's set up, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And I think that's a huge mistake because consumer behavior is constantly changing. Best practices are constantly changing. What works constantly changes, not dramatically, but it's slow turns in different directions. So I think this is a great time to review it. Make sure you're doing what you should be on those campaigns, because obviously with the influx of Q4, you want to take full advantage of it.
And to me too, is like, don't overcomplicate things. I think a lot of people throw so much at the user, they don't know where to go. Think about like your intention from user experience. What do you want them to do? What do you want them to buy? And think about like, how can you sell other products along that customer journey? So there's like cool optimizations you can do like that. And I think if you make it way too difficult for somebody to buy and find that offer, you're going to lose them. It has to be right in their face. Make them check out. Do checkouts like John mentioned earlier, add-ons and upsells in the cart, however you want to do it, and work on the AOV from that perspective.
Love it. To piggyback off that, to have more money to create a better user experience, I think about not touching on inventory, but brands waiting too long to dump old inventory until right before Black Friday. I think like Q2 is like a really good time, end of Q2, right, to get rid of like old inventory. So that way you don't have to worry about old shit, holding up cash that you could be deploying in order to make your Black Friday a success. So if you are hearing this and you're like, oh, wow, I have to get rid of A, B, and C, and D, go do that now. So that way you have the most opportunity and the most cash flow in order to make your Black Friday a success. Don't wait till the last minute to do that.
And that leads to the next topic, which is customer support. Do you have something?
Just one thing about user experience and website optimization. I can't tell you how many brands we work with. Sometimes even have to scream a little bit at my team. Anything that you evaluate in mobile first. Do not go into desktop.
Thank you.
Hot tip.
You.
Get your phone out. Sometimes even if you resize your screen, you don't get the same experience. Get your phone out and do it on your phone as a user. And if you're too lazy to do that, you probably don't deserve to have a successful.
You can also right-click and hit inspect on Chrome and go right to.
But sometimes it doesn't load properly.
Okay.
So there's sometimes issues there. Get the phone out. See how it feels. Especially if you have, Android user, Apple user, whatever.
Yeah, Chrome user and a Safari user could be a completely different
This is true.
experience.
Safari screws up a lot of stuff. All right, going to number 4. Customer support. I think this is great for Bryan, but training customer support for increased inquiries, extending the support hours, and implementing more features like live chat or Instagram or social channels and so forth. What are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing to make sure your support's up and live? Because I'm sure you get a lot of questions about raw food.
For sure. I think the most important part too, in regards to support during big sale days, is setting customer expectations in advance, right? So like, leading up to July 4th, we changed our copy, even though we can't really do a good job changing checkout right now. We could change the copy. We're able to do that. And just making customers aware of, the influx in order volume, setting the expectation that, instead of your 2 to 3 day typical delivery window, right, you may see an extension during the sales cycle, and then having that included in an email, et cetera. But I like setting customer expectation in advance prior to a sale, whether that's Black Friday or whatever the case may be. But then on the other side of it, which I'm restructuring right now, is our customer service hours. Now I know Jimmy offers a whole 24/7 customer support thing, but on our side of it, right,
What's with the sarcasticness?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
it's real.
Yeah,
we're gonna chat support at 4 a.m. today. We're gonna go test it.
I'm gonna call Sendlane at the blackjack table, see who I really get at 1 a.m.
And be like, hit or not.
But no, extending our customer service hours. We're right now very 9 to 5 Eastern centric, like a lot of direct to consumer brands, and switching that over, especially as we're onboarding new customer service folks, where we're extending our hours to make it beneficial for West Coast customers, because that's where a lot of our market share is. So we'll be available pretty much 12 hours a day, but we're also going to be going now into the weekend. So we'll be available 12 hours a day, Monday through Sunday, in comparison now, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But I really am going to really do a hard marketing push behind that in October, right before the big sale, even though we're going to come out with that a little bit sooner. And that's going to parlay on a bunch of different stuff for Black Friday. But that's going to be a whole new shift for us, is setting customer expectations for a big sale and then trying your best to extend the amount of hours that you're able to offer, not only for a sale, but I just think in general.
That's great. All right. So let's keep going. Number 5 is, and I think number 5, 6, and 7 play off each other. So I'm going to name all 3 of them real quick and let's talk about it. So number 5 is marketing strategy. Obviously getting your retention marketing, your email and SMS marketing, your social media calendar, and of course your advertising. That's there's a lot there, and we're not going to dive into all of that right now. The second part to that is SEO and content. Number 6, updating your product descriptions to relevant keywords, updating to holiday themed posts, blogs, websites, and then of course optimizing landing pages for Black Friday and Cyber Monday keywords, right? So there's that. And then the third part of that, which is promotions and discounts. So number 7 is promotions and discounts, which is planning discounts and so forth. So I'm going to work backwards here because I'm curious, how do you guys first decide what the discount is that you're going to do or the promotion you're going to do this year? And then how are you applying that into your marketing strategy generally?
So the reality is when it comes to promotions, discounts, offers, we're, at least at BattlBox, we're taking historical data, both from previous Black Friday, Cyber Mondays, and then just the random amounts of testing that we're doing throughout the year in traditional ways. And we're trying to take all those learnings to measure, BFCM and execute it right. I think, and I've talked about it on previous episodes, right? It's not just, it's Black Friday, I need a discount. You
still want the right customer.
You still want the right customer. You don't want bad actors in there that you're going to lose money on and have no path to being profitable on. But I think for us, I know we said we're going to start with promotions and discounts, but it all kind of runs together to me. And the biggest thing that's overarching for all of them is segmentation and talking to your different segments correctly. The user that's already bought from you, that buys regularly, versus person that's been to your site 20 times and never bought, to even the first person this is their first time on the site. I think there's an opportunity for segmenting, for just speaking to them correctly.
Yeah, I like that. Now we're at a point, so for all new smaller brands growing up, I'm not looking at any historical data. We're still throw shit at the wall company and see what happens, right? So we're at the stage now where now I'm just able to try a bunch of new stuff because the company's been in an old playbook mindset for so long that I'm able to run pretty much whatever I want to a degree, right? I know Adam will come to me and say, hey, Brian, we can't lose our shirts here, but here's the money that we can afford to give and spend, and then do what you want from there. So I'm able to do a bunch of cool stuff. And I had to take away a couple of episodes ago. Jimmy's like, you guys should try doing a 12-month annual subscription. So we're going to try a few of those. We're going to do a couple cool collaborations, which is really the real reason why I reached out to Omaha Steaks yesterday. I want to try to do a bunch of human raw food delivery company collabs with our food. I think there's just a huge market and a miss opportunity because both consumers are getting the same product, but they're going through 2 different companies instead of one. So I think that there's play there that I'm trying to work on with a few different folks and just running a bunch of different tests. Now, I doubt we're not going to have our website there in time, which is fine, but it still allows us to sort of continuing to throw paint at the wall because we're not an established brand to the point where we have all this data to pull from, like a BattlBox, right? And I encourage all newer brands or all smaller brands that are still trying to grow, just keep throwing paint at the wall.
But be smart about it and don't lose money.
That's right. Yeah. That's a good point there, Jimmy.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yep.
And one of my, when you think about this marketing strategy, discount and promotions, I always remind people about the playbook that I love that we discovered in 2016, 15 that worked really well, which was launch a brand new product on that time too, at full retail. Don't give a discount on it. Put it out there. One of the coolest things you'll see is it's the highest time of website traffic that you're going to get on your website.
Yeah.
And you've already got your most loyal people coming there because they're not shopping on your brand's website because they just found you often. They're shopping because they know who you are and they want to buy something for somebody. And maybe you can get them to buy something for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
that's huge. It's such a smart move.
Yeah.
You do not have to discount.
that's correct. And that's what we talk about on discounting because people are ready to buy. I mean, we just saw this on Prime Day. And I don't know if you guys saw this controversy on Prime Day in July here, but people were pissed off because they thought they got big discounts on Prime Day. Turns out brands were just putting it back up retail price for like a day or two and then bringing it back down, getting the tag applied on Amazon, and you think you got it, but it was really the same price you could have gotten it a week ago.
Yeah, it was wild. So my wife puts items into her cart save for later leading up to Prime. So when it's Prime, she sees everything she wants and she looks at the discounts, but she takes it a step further. After she puts it in the cart, save for later, she screenshots it. And I was like, why are you screenshotting it? She's like, watch. And sure enough, on Prime Day, oh, this is a 40% discount. No, it's really not because the price was actually lower before and they jacked up the price to then discount it 40%. Like, it's dirty.
Yep.
I mean, it's strategy, but yeah, it's dirty.
Yeah.
One hot tip I would maybe do is I don't think a lot of brands run enough teaser campaigns to show what might be on sale or what's coming, not necessarily disclosing what a sale is, and throwing on a landing page and maybe doing like an email SMS sign up, early bird.
Pre-sale, early
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah. Do that, collect the list. You know these people are interested and you hit them up first, unlock that for them. And
Well, you know, one of the things is that like if you look at old retail playbooks, they're still applicable today.
100%.
A lot of the things they did. Remember, like when I don't think Macy's doesn't exist anymore, but if Macy's does, they used to do like an early bird for like your VIP and your most loyal, and like bringing people in. They used to do a lot of stuff for Black Friday.
Yeah, how about when shoes would come out, right? You would know that Nike's dropping a shoe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, but you just knew that you had to get to the store and wait in line because you were a loyal Nike customer, you know?
Another thing that I see that a lot of brands make a mistake, I think they discount too hard to their loyal customers.
Correct.
They're your loyal customers because they love you and they love your brand. I'm not saying don't hook them up and appreciate them, but you don't have to throw the biggest discounts to them. You can get more creative.
Just be fair. Yeah. Just be fair. Find a creative way to really reward.
Yeah, we give fair discounts. We don't over discount, but we do exclusive items.
Yeah. So that's a great way to do
So
it.
a similar discount that we're offering to everybody else, but they're the only ones that can get that discount.
That's really cool.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going here. Number 8 is logistics and shipping. Confirming shipping deadlines, expedited shipping options, communicating shipping deadlines to customers. I thought that was an interesting one because I don't think a lot of people think about this one. Brian, you have a lot, again, with the way that things happen. We know FedEx kicks all your boxes around the block, and that's a whole different thing to talk about. But how are you guys thinking about like logistically? Because you guys ship a big box.
Yeah, it's July 4th. We actually had a few learnings from July 4th where we continued. I had the mindset, we're going to ship every day. Well, FedEx is closed July 4th. So we have 1, 2, and 3 day ship zones. So we had a shipping cutoff for 3-day packages on July 4th was Thursday. So that Wednesday, anything that was 3-day had to wait until we were back in the warehouse on Friday. But then anything that was 1 or 2 day, what we did is we just packed an extra day's worth of dry ice to account for the extra day of holdover with FedEx. But then we ran into issues with that because you can't really rely upon carrier to hopefully only be delayed 1 day. So when it comes to holidays, especially when it comes to FedEx, which is unfortunately our shipping partner right now, you really have to do your best in order to minimize any sort of impact because there will be an impact. It doesn't matter how well you prepare, how well you plan, whether it's a FedEx delay, whether it's a delay on your end, there's going to be something that happens. So July 4th, we did a great job communicating to the customers ahead of the big sale, but it was a little bit longer than we wanted it to be because of a multitude of reasons that happened with FedEx during July 4th, also being the hottest time of the year. So now we're dealing with dry ice. We can only ship up to a 3-day time zone. After 3 days, your food's going to go bad. So you really have to be cognizant about, okay, well, 90% of the country, FedEx isn't delivering on Sundays, right? In 60% of the country in frozen food, they're not delivering on Saturdays, right? So now you really have to look at holidays. When are my carriers closed? What day does it fall on? When's the cutoff? Because now you have to prepare for the amount of dry ice you have to put in. Does my cutoff have to be sooner than someone shipping a cell phone case? Of course it does. But now there's so many different elements that evolve around shipping of frozen goods that extend well beyond just like a cutoff date. So there's just a lot of things to think about. That's where it becomes difficult to decide, what to do.
Dude, you have a lot of knowledge in logistics and shipping, way more than I've ever learned. I think I've learned more about shipping from you in the last like couple weeks than I've ever known in my life. Now, if you could explain to me what the hell the difference between a 3PL, 4PL, a 2PL, and a 1PL is, that would like make my life. But we're not going to get into that because that's going to be crazy.
No.
All right, number 9, technical readiness. Having a backup plan for your website. How do you ensure that? Amer, we're going to go to you, man, because how do brands, like, what's the backup story when it comes to websites? Because if a website goes down, what happens?
Well, the good part is my wonderful people over at Shopify do a really good job managing that. One part that Shopify does, and sometimes merchants get really worried about it, leading up to Black Friday, they are increasing and bettering their infrastructure or running tests and things like that. And there'll be outages here and there, but they do that so when the busy season hits, they're all ready. I don't recall in my 10 years, maybe John can correct me here, that Shopify has ever had an outage during Black Friday or the holiday season.
There was a recent outage.
Yeah.
No, but not during the holiday.
As we go into that, let's talk about backing up your website. Let's talk about that then.
Shopify doesn't do that. That's on your partner, right?
Yeah. So there's like two ways. So Shopify has backup servers for certain things, but when it comes to like potentially somebody going in and like deleting your products, you can't necessarily back them up. But there are apps like Rewind that will actually do that for you. So I actually recommend that for every single company. Install Rewind, run it, and be at peace in case something goes down.
They'll allow you to literally rewind your website back to where it was
Exactly.
working, right?
Exactly. We're talking about themes, images, products, all of that stuff. It's
We didn't move forward with it, but I know we had conversations with you at one point due to some other factors. We spoke with you guys about having a warm secondary backup site that would have been live, ready to go. We updated maybe once a month.
Yeah.
That if something extreme disaster recovery, I don't think we're big enough to justify that because it's expensive. But then just having that.
Yeah, so
I think large organizations.
We run with a company, they sell digital products. They have about 800,000 digital products in their store. We're talking about zip files and everything like that. So what we do, for example, for them, because we built an app for them, it's not on Shopify. We host the production on one server, and then their backup is, I believe, on Google Cloud. So in case somebody would hack it, somebody would delete it, something crazy would happen with an outage, we can switch that was failover to a completely different company. So we do that for a lot of our merchants by default who have these like big apps. But with Shopify, honestly, outside of like Rewind, in my opinion, people are in really, really good hands.
And on this list, I had one that was on here that I thought was interesting. It ties into technical readiness called security measures, like updating and patching any security, SSLs, website, domain renewals, like all those things.
Yeah.
Those are all things that I think we never think about until it's too late often. But, I don't know about you, but having an SSL expire, you know what I mean? Like,
The beautiful part is with Shopify, you don't have to worry about it.
Yes, but not everybody's on Shopify.
We've had an SSL expire on Shopify.
On
didn't we?
Shopify?
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. There's attention to this room.
Really?
A few years ago, let's look. We can.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'm curious. But I mean, for people that are like on WordPress and
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with BigCommerce or custom environments, of course, like you
They're not reminding you that your SSL's expired.
Well, I think the lesson here is simple. It's just ensuring that you've got all your technical checklists in place in order, thinking like your website and your domain name and in any SSLs or any other weird things that you have that are renewable that are tied to your website.
One thing I would maybe recommend, especially if you're like a newer brand and if you're switching like payment providers, payment processing providers, give them a heads up that there's going to be a drastic increase in volume, because sometimes I've seen in the past they will block transactions.
gateway.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't switch payment gateways right before Black Friday.
No.
Yeah.
Not the time.
Well, there you go. There's a hot tip
Wait
there.
till Q1.
Yeah.
There you go.
Best way to put it. Yeah.
RIP all SaaS companies that sell payment gateways.
Yeah.
It's ruined their lives. All right. All the ones that said, no, you got plenty of time.
Let's get it
All right,
running.
number 10, and we're going to skip around a little bit, and this one's also really interesting because I think these all tie together. I'm going to name 4 of them here. Analytics and tracking, number 10, which is talking about setting up your metrics, ensuring that all your analytics and your pixels are working, and you've got all your data in place. That also ties in with number 11, which is your email marketing, which is different, right? Because you're segmenting your list and sending targeted campaigns. We're not going to go into like a class around how do you attack them, but ultimately do the things you know you're supposed to do, segment your list, attack your buyers and your prospects. It's the funnel clearing event, so it's important to maximize on the dollars on your prospects. Then you got your social media engagement, which is, planning and scheduling and getting your stories and reels and getting your influencers ready and all that good stuff. That's all pretty self-sustainable, like easy to explain, right? And then I think the last one that I tied this to is number 17, which is pricing strategy. And I think this is interesting because I know we talked about discounts. What do you got pricing? What are you guys doing? Are you guys making price adjustments now, or are you done testing those things right now? I think that's a really interesting thought process there. So let's go through that real quick again. I know I went through a lot there, but you think about analytics and tracking, email marketing, social media engagement, and then of course your pricing. Like as you're thinking about your marketing strategy when it comes to that side of things, what else are we missing out of there? Anything? Is that pretty clear?
Yeah.
We're not going to get tactical on like marketing strategies, right? We're going to try to avoid that, but I'm trying to just make sure that we're thinking about it.
Yeah, so on pricing, I'd break it into two different things, right? There's testing pricing and finding what the right fit is. And then there's competitive pricing and taking that into consideration. Not true for all merchants, right? Like your product is a premium product. There is not another one that's exactly like it.
Yeah, correct.
So, but if you're talking about things that are very, very similar or the same, and you're both selling through the same product through a distributor or the wholesale, you have to be priced right.
I saw a new retreat company, which was pretty interesting. They did Black Friday in July. And I noticed some of the offers that they were running. And I'm wondering now that I'm thinking about this, and actually maybe a good idea for me to do next year in the summertime, but to market it like that so consumers are thinking Black Friday, testing offers, testing pricing models in the summer, but marketing it as a little summertime Black Friday. Not a bad idea the more that I'm thinking about it and talking out loud right now. It's
we
pretty
didn't
good.
do it this year, but in previous years, we've done Christmas in July, same exact thing. We're
same
getting
model.
one, trying to get people thinking, grabbing it early.
Yep.
But also it allows you to really test and get a good grasp.
Question for you on pricing. I don't know if you've been in this position, but if you create a pricing strategy and let's say your competitors are a lot more competitive than you are, do you go plan B at that point?
Are we talking our products or like universal products, like a Gerber knife?
Yeah, like universal products.
So there's hundreds of people that sell this, and we're not competitive. We're going to be competitive.
Okay, so you're going to pivot.
Yeah, we're going to adjust, right? We're not going to be, $99.99 when everybody else is $79.99.
And do you pre-plan for that?
So we a couple times a year do a pricing exercise where we look at what's out there, specific items, and adjust.
For one of our merchants, by the way, you guys might even benefit from it. Maybe you are. We actually have their competitors, and we created an app that automatically checks and alerts them anytime they change their price.
That's kind of cool. So what you feed is the data of the competitors?
Yeah.
So it's a little tricky for us because, in this catalog, part of the catalog, we have these 4 competitors, but in this part of the catalog, we have these 4 competitors. So it's a bunch of different
It's a lot of sites.
It's a lot of sites.
Yeah,
It's not like 4 sites. It's 4 times 6, 24 different sites.
Yeah.
Times 2.
They have like 5 big competitors, and we just...
That's easy. Much easier.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that's cool, though.
Yeah.
So interesting.
This ad is dedicated to all the brands out there who are struggling with subscriptions. To the people out there with churn rates higher than their mortgage. Y'all called the police on us and we were just trying to get you on recharge. And now look where you are. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby, baby. It was all a dream. Welcome to the recharge scene. Retention just double, celebrate with your team. So watch your churn go down. Every single day we said that recharge will turn you around. There's 20,000 brands that they serve. If your first name is Jay, they'll make your last name Curve. Trusted, robust, and dynamic. They'll make you money while you're laying in the hammock. Just kidding. I wish that was how life.
Let's keep going. Number 14 is returns and refund policy. Reviewing and update your return refund policy. Clearly communicate the policy to those customers and train your team on handling returns as things. So anyone use one of those like return services? Or either of you guys use
We don't
one?
accept returns.
Oh, well, I
We
guess.
don't either.
Oh, really?
We didn't in the ammo industry either.
So
I've never worked in a company that offers returns.
So we zero return, zero
No joke.
refunds.
What a weird accomplishment.
That's an interview question for Brian. You guys do returns.
I am highly, for those brands listening to this that do offer a refund policy, I don't care what you sell, you get rid of that. I don't really care what you sell.
So, to be fair,
Outside of apparel, sorry.
we have a no refund, no return policy, but while that is our policy, there are always exceptions to the rule. If it's a damaged product, if we've messed up the product, if it's defective, damaged,
Yes.
we're 100% going to own it. We are going to replace it. Go ahead.
But you also offer some checkouts to protect users for that. I think you have like shipping protection or...
Yeah, we have shipping protection add-on, not through a third party.
Yeah.
You guys built that custom. It's ours.
Yeah.
We're the insurance company on that one.
A lot of SaaS companies are going to hate me after this podcast.
I mean, come on, dude. Like,
It's not a hard thing to build.
it's not a hard thing to build.
No,
Like, I was like, hey, I love these apps. Can we build it? And you guys had it up in like a day.
Yeah.
It's not
You
complicated.
can get rid of route. That's basically.
I already brought that up to Adam. He was a no-go on. We did that in Target Sports USA. We had 3% of subtotal. So it automatically updated 3%. What's
smart.
depending on
Yep.
subtotal.
Cool.
All right, refunds policy. All right, let's keep going. 15 is customer reviews. I thought this was interesting, which is like making sure you don't forget about your customer reviews and ensuring we have those. I don't think it's more of a topic to discuss. I think it's just one that we just mentioned to make sure you think about it, encouraging your customers to leave reviews, highlight positive reviews on your website, and monitor and respond to reviews promptly, right? Those are pretty agreeable. How about packaging and presentation? I like this one. Number 16, stock up on packaging materials, design a festive packaging for the holiday. I'd love to know, and include a personalized thank you notes. Anyone doing anything really special with packaging here? Or have you seen something that you like or enjoy recently?
Yeah, we do holiday stickers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I may have some. You guys keep talking about it. Let me go see if I have some.
Okay. We're going to go off into number 18 because we did pricing strategy. Number 18 is sales forecasting. So, John, while we're waiting for this, how are you forecasting your sales?
So again, we're using historical data, both sales velocity, past promotions. We're really dialed in where we know what we can hit, what moves the needle. And, selfishly, we're always trying to outdo our previous years. So we know where the bar was last year. So we work kind of backwards on how do we beat it.
Here's stickers.
So, Brian's showing us stickers if you're watching it. Uh-oh. Look at these things, if you can see them.
You got models for stickers. Look at
He's got-
that.
he's got a
Yeah,
bunch
you
of
like
them
those?
stickers. Those
Oh.
are nice. Those are really cool. So he's adding his personalization by adding these little pet stickers. And who who doesn't love a
wanna get
little
some BattlBox
cute little
stickers.
cat or dog
They're
on,
cool,
on,
right?
on,
Yeah.
a little sticker?
You know where I
like
got
the
'em from?
vinyl.
Oh.
The mule.
The mule. Oh no.
Yeah. Great stickers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to leave that part of it out of it. So we got sales and forecasting. That was great. You're obviously modeling the last year, and you're obviously modeling either growth or a flat line, I guess, depending on how your business is doing this year. The next one I thought was really interesting. Number 19 was affiliate marketing. You guys both do influencers, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys give them more money during the holidays? Do you guys prepare them better? Do you guys do anything special for them, or is it just all shows go?
We'll do, I would say, throughout the year, a couple of times, we'll have campaigns where it's a promotion. It's whether we're paying more or we're offering more. There's some incentive for the affiliate, for the creator, for the influencer. We've done it before during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We've also done it different times of the year. I think there's no wrong answer there.
What about you, Brian? Do you guys do anything special for your influencers for the holiday?
No, not for the holiday, but what we do is surrounding the holidays, we actually established these like weekly affiliate calls. So Nina, who you met, I believe, right? She runs calls with them that we just like started like really structuring, but leading up to it, it's just a lot of it is like a collaboration. Like we have Creators Combine where everyone like talks about different, ways that they can help each other. And it's a whole community, but our affiliates work on their kickback percentage increases based off the amount of revenue they bring in. It's like everyone starts off with 20 and 5, and then once they hit level 1, they get 20 and 7, and then once they hit level 2, they get 20 and 9. So their kickback increases as their amount of revenue they bring in drives up, and then that is going to be leading into Black Friday, more of a push for them to really try to increase their sales before Black Friday because they know during that time that they're going to be making a lot of money.
If I had an affiliate program for my brand, I would launch a contest. If I had a bunch of affiliates that were actively and creating real bottom line, not that it needs to be a lot of money, man. Like,
No, you're right.
$2,500 first place prize, right? Most
very true.
sales.
We've done contests before.
Have you? Yeah. That's what I think is interesting is like you could do contests and potentially create more excitement between them.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right. I'm
The
going
one
to
thing that if people missed one of the last episodes, I would say the stocking stuffers, like with a
Oh, yes,
yeah,
yes.
the gift card.
Yeah, the gift
Yeah,
cards.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
that was a great
one.
takeaway. We got
Ryan Hogan special.
the Ryan
Yeah.
Hogan special.
Love those.
All right. Actually, that leads to number 20, customer loyalty programs. We talked about loyalty and talked about how this works. I mean, I think there's a lot to it, but at the end, we're going to talk about the monetary side of things. Are you guys giving special incentives to your current customers to make another purchase?
Yes.
Yes? Are you going to spend points? No. Brian's like, no.
No, yeah, I don't believe in loyalty programs.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, hot take. I'm sorry. It's just a cash burner,
There you go.
Yeah, so we do, but
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a big discussion on that for
Yeah,
another pod, but
loyalty.
we've talked about loyalty a little bit, but I think that as we continue talking about
But
it,
you have loyalty.
We have
you just
loyalty.
deploy it in
They
a different way.
absolutely have loyalty.
yeah, the subscription.
Yeah, subscription. And I think for a lot of brands, you don't have to do boxes or whatever. Do subscribe and save. Like, freaking do it. Like, if people love your brand and they want the convenience of having their product at their doorstep every 30 days or every 3 months, enable it for them.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'm going to skip around a little bit and jump through the ones that I think are really important to talk about. So we'll continue down here and say, what about budget allocation? How are you guys creating your budget? And then, one of the things that this thing spit out and told me is allocate a fund for emergency expenses. What kind of emergency expenses would come up during the holidays that you may think about? How are you guys coming up with your budgets for the holiday? Is it just based on your sales forecasting? Is there anything else special? Is there anything you're doing?
Ours is based on just our normal forecast.
Okay.
And obviously, we're not extremely seasonal. We do have the uptick, and we can push that uptick further, right? So we would push it further each time, but it's all based upon the budget. The emergency expenses piece is interesting. So we've been fortunate enough to have cash when needed for situations like that. But what's happened before is we've known something's going to perform to a certain extent, and it overperforms.
Oh.
It does well, really well, and we need to have the backup plan. We need to, how do we get more inventory? Can we get more inventory? If not, what's the game plan, right? What is the plan? Can we roll something else out? And then the flip side, we've had, and we actually, part of our current Black Friday, Cyber Monday strategy that's been in place for 4 years now is when we launch phase 2 on Black Friday, right? And it runs through Cyber Monday or Giving Tuesday. But after the Saturday push, depending on how it's doing, we have an automatic built-in, already planned out pivot. So if it doesn't perform how we need it to, we have a hard pivot we take. And Cyber Monday and if we roll Giving Tuesday are both with this new thing. And we stop talking about the Black Friday deal.
Interesting.
So that's obviously you need to have budgeting for that because it's a different investment.
Yeah, your content investment's different, right?
How much do you invest into ads? Do you amplify it X amount?
Not that heavy. Honestly, we are less heavy on ads at that point because we've been building up our list and our audience over the course of the year.
Yeah.
We really move the needle with email.
Okay. And what do you do? Like, is it 3, 4, 5x touch points a day? Like,
No, it's not that many. It's typically 2.
2? Okay.
2 a day. Sometimes just 1, which Jimmy might tell me I'm out of my mind.
Yeah, that's fine. People are into buying behavior.
So
spend
because
more.
that you do that, do you try to cross-pollinate different channels so you can hit them up on different platforms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's interesting. Yeah. Budget's always an interesting one because it's like, what you want to budget for your sales forecast, but how much more do you need because something special might pop up, right? All right. We got one more here, and I think this is the most important one. I saw it was number 30, and I was like, we should talk about this a little bit. Post-sale engagement, right? Now, you're making the sale. A lot of times, you're not only making repeat sales, but you're making fresh and new sales, and you want to create this post-engagement. Brian's sending stickers, sending different things, but what else are you guys doing? I love the idea. Someone said it before. It makes me angry, but like sending a gift card that you can use after in Q1, that would be a good idea. What other cool ways are you guys carrying engagement so you can carry them into the future?
Yeah, our welcome flow has changed multiple times since I've come on, but the latest one, especially for the subscription welcome flow, is every email provides value leading into the next email regarding it, like opens up a door, but they don't see what's on the other side of the room, but they want to see what's on the other side of the room where, stay tuned. Next month, we're bringing on Ben Garson, who owns Outrider Dogs, to share with you top 5 ways to train your, dog, whatever the case may be, right? So each email follows with a leading educational component that a customer can take away, not only from the product base, so we teach customers every month about different products, but also different cool ways that they can train their dog, that they can utilize knowledge that we give them, provide them outside of just our product. So really making sure that leading into, like we just did it for July 4th because we did acquire a lot of customers with all the giveaway stuff that we did and all that stuff, but making sure that they felt that they didn't just buy a product for a discounted price on Black Friday and then, kind of disappear into the darkness and wait for another big sale, to be top of mind on them communication standpoint wise, but then provide value following giving them monetary value.
Interesting. The monetary value is really interesting at the end there. All right, so we went through like 25-ish or so. You can download the whole list there. I think some of these are pretty self-evident, and we're going to clean this up, and you'll be able to download a nice little PDF that kind of checklists a lot of things. As you guys go through this, as we're finally wrapping this up, anything that I missed, anything that didn't come up that you're thinking about, like you're thinking about launching for Black Friday, did we cover all the different things that we should be thinking about?
I think the most important takeaway that I have to remind myself with all the time when it comes to these sales is, like you just asked John how much he spends on ads. I think brands in general think these big holidays and sale days, they need to spend more on ads and they need to use this as an opportunity to acquire a new customer, when it really needs to be about understanding that you've been building your top of funnel for so many months, all year long. And like John said, like email, SMS, like you see Jimmy on LinkedIn, email, follow them up. Someone that clicked but didn't purchase, send them an SMS. Like keep hammering those people because you've worked so hard all year long on acquiring customers. Black Friday is not a time to acquire. It's a time to sell.
Yeah, funnel clearing.
Yeah.
As you think about it, yeah, you're right. Like these people have been sitting around on the sidelines. If you can't convince them to make the purchase on Black Friday and the excitement and the hype plus the deal, dude, when are you ever going to sell them? right?
We kind of touched upon this. One thing that I don't see enough for brands is creating like gift guides, what to wear, and basically landing pages that are not necessarily selling from an email. It's like, hey, needs holiday suggestions, take them to a blog page, take them to a landing page, and then from the landing page or a blog page, then try to sell them. So kind of get the interest going and then kind of close on them. I don't think every email needs to be a sale email. It could also be an educational email or a content email that ends up leading to a sale.
Yeah, we've occasionally ran traffic, organic. I think we've done paid before, but with certainty organic around this time, maybe a little bit past, I guess technically this is airing end of August, so a little bit past that, but gift guides that are on our site, that are all blogs, that are shoppable if you want to make a purchase now, but that educational piece and getting them in there, yeah.
Yeah, I remember growing up, I mean, we used to love those pamphlets that you got from like the toy store and all these places. You would save them and you'd circle things. They don't do that no more, do they? They have their iPads and they just bring up 90 ideas from your YouTube influencer that's telling the little kids to buy stuff, yeah.
How do you guys feel about site-wide sales opposed to focusing on products and collections and trying to segment?
I think everybody expects some type of site-wide sale. It may be 5, 10, 20, like something. I think that you should hyper-focus on more, or you can separate out the sales. But at the end of the day, consumerism says they expect everything on sale.
One thing, and maybe people can also test this, is instead of maybe doing like a blanket sale or whatever, do the same sale but without a coupon or a promotion, just change the pricing on your website.
Oh, yeah. The automatic price, right?
Yeah.
You know what's weird about that is that there's there's a test out there I've read, and I need to go find it. But basically, by doing that, people don't believe that you actually are getting a discount because they saw the price on the website. As crazy as that might sound.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I think it's all about verbiage and how you position it.
Sure.
Yeah. At Target Sports USA, we used to do site-wide sales, but each category had a different sale, right? Because for instance, our holsters had a 120% margin, but some of our ammo had 20. So, some of the categories had different sale percentages, right? And that's another cool way to make emails a lot easier too, because now you're able to sell the categories and now you're letting the customer decide what they want to buy. I hate when a brand on Black Friday has 100 items on their website and 20 of them are on sale for Black Friday. Yeah. It's like, I didn't come here for that. Stop trying to push old shit on me. I want that. You know, that's one way to do it, is break down, look at your margins and break down your offer based on category.
And how do you guys feel about gamification of the sales?
Well, Temo,
you guys know how I feel about this.
Has told us that if you want to get into Bryan's pockets, you need to gamify it because he's sold. Honestly, I think lowest barrier of entry for Black Friday. I think gamifying any other time is fine, but during Black Friday, like, they don't have time. They just want to buy.
You're right.
Not in that sense, but like, for example, gamifying, like if you spend $50, you get 20% off. You get 100.
So one of our phases this year is a tiered. Spend X, get Y off. Yeah. Spend Z, get A off.
Yeah.
Bigger discount.
Yeah. That's what we just did for July 4th.
Yeah, I think tiered.
Did you have like a motivation bar for that or anything like that, or
what?
A motivation bar
on the website?
Yeah.
You got to stop asking Bryan for a nice day.
Please stop.
He's limited by the experience. Even his card experience is pretty rough.
We were able to change the copy on the checkout page to let people know their shipments may be delayed. Now you're asking if we had a customized bar on the website. Yeah. No, Amir, we didn't.
We got to get that man.
We got Times New Roman 12 on the website.
We got to hook him up because that experience is pretty rough.
Got Arial 10 on the checkout.
As someone who's ordered through it, I can tell you, like, really missed the Shopify experience when you go through an order process.
Adam goes, you think we're really going to see like a 20 to 30% lift in conversion rate? I go, maybe add another 0, to be honest with you.
It's insane how hard it is and how much work it is, and versus just clicking that Shop Pay button and just ordering. You know what I mean?
You're setting,
ordering on John's site, we have different experience issues, but your site was purely just like tedious.
Oh, it's brutal. Yeah, no, he's asking me if I have custom. No,
he doesn't custom. All right. We're gonna wrap this down. All right. So that's a wrap, guys. Episode 13. We went through the checklist. We got a little tactical. We talked about it. Downloadable. You can download that at awesompod.com. Join our pod newsletter. Grab your checklist. Just join our subscribe to the newsletter. I mean, that's really what we want. And hopefully, as we get smarter and bigger and we get more things, we'll even maybe publish a newsletter one day. Maybe, but we'll talk about that later. But for now, we want to alert you about the newest episode, and we'll send you only the good stuff. We promise that. And plus, you can always unsubscribe. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. Let us know what you think about the pod, if you enjoyed this or not. Over the last couple pods, as you're listening to this, we've been kind of testing you guys and trying to understand what content is most impactful to you as our listeners, and that feedback that you can provide me, or if you want to yell at John, or you want to, slide into the DMs over Bryan, or, whatever with Amer. share, like any of that is going to be good content for us to understand and really continue to optimize this pod because we're in it for the long run. So follow us on X, TikTok, IG, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're everywhere. We're found. All right. Next episode. This one, I got a little spicy because I wanted to get a little spicy. Oh, yeah. We're diving into a little politics, boys. We're going to talk about the effects of e-commerce. Not politics. We're not going to tell people who you're voting for. None of that. That's not what we're talking about. But e-commerce, holidays, politics. We've got a really interesting next couple months coming up here. And I think by the time we get this pod out and shoot that next pod, and this will be like your early September pod, we're going to be in the thick of it just 2 months before the election. And we'd love to talk about what's going on, the potential recession that I think that we are in now that we don't seem to want to talk about right now. But that between the politics, everything else, I think there's a lot we can discuss around what we're seeing, what we're feeling, what we're hearing. You know, we've been reading these articles about zombie brands. We've been reading articles about all these different things. However, I also know that there's plenty of brands that are thriving and growing right now, but there's just as many brands that are struggling and dying too, right? And I think that, again, this holiday, this cycle is going to amplify all of that because even thinking about it, I was thinking about, could I start a sale early this year in November? Well, November 7th is the election. So really you can't. You gotta wait till at least the 8th. If you think about it, right? Yeah. That actually even made it even a weirder cycle if you think about it. So I think there's a lot of challenges, but that's what we're gonna do in our next episode. Very excited about that. Again, like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, share this. We thank you for watching this pod. That was episode number 13. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next pod. See you later.
Welcome to the ASOM Pod, where we talked a lot. E-com was the path that we walked a lot. But now the question is, will you subscribe or not?